Well, some of these men have been in captivity for more than 2.5 years. You can just see the emotion on their faces to finally return to their homeland, Ukraine, to their families, just in time for the New Year holidays.
Massive blackout has knocked out power to most of the island right on New Year's Eve, obviously. At last check, more than 1 million customers in the U.S. territory were without electricity. It's the latest power outage in Puerto Rico in a year plagued by power issues.
2024 election fried our brains. The Democrats couldn't hold a primary because they were too busy holding a body upright. Are we still rolling? Am I off?
Go for it.
It was amazing that the pro-choice party didn't give their voters one when it came to the presidential candidate. Kamala was forced on us so hard you'd think she was patented by Pfizer or Moderna, whichever one's. Oh, God. Andy just gave me a very scary look.
No!
Three people are dead and at least 23 others injured after a massive fireworks explosion in Hawaii. Officials say that someone lit a, quote, cake bomb of fireworks in a driveway that flew into and ignited another stash of fireworks. Authorities say the fireworks were put together in a way that made them explosive, describing it as a bomb.
What the fuck? I thought this fucking done.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Holy shit.
News Special Report.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Morgan Norwood. We are interrupting our regular programming to bring you breaking news out of New Orleans on this New Year's Day, where police say at least 10 people are dead after a vehicle, a pickup truck, plowed into a crowd on Bourbon Street. It happened just after 3:15 this morning, just after so many people had gathered there.
After hitting the crowd, he exited the vehicle and fired upon local law enforcement. Law enforcement returned fire and the subject was pronounced deceased at the scene. An ISIS flag was located on the trailer hitch of the vehicle, and the FBI is working to determine the subject's potential associations and affiliations with terrorist organizations. Weapons and potential improvised explosive devices, IEDs, were located in the subject's vehicle. Other potential IEDs were also located in the French Quarter.
24 Tesla Cybertruck pulled into the area valet of the Trump International Hotel. Very quickly thereafter that, the driver, who was the sole occupant of the truck, we saw what looked like maybe some sort of smoke, and then the truck exploded. That's the Cybertruck parked right in front of the doors. He was indeed in the United States Army. He was also a Green Beret operations sergeant who spent most of his time at Fort Carson, Colorado, and in Germany. a tremendous amount of substantial evidence, the clearly obvious, which is the credit cards, the military identification, the passport.
It's not lost on us that it's in front of, of the Trump building, that it's a Tesla vehicle, but we don't have information at this point that definitively tells us or suggests it was because of this particular ideology or any of the reasoning behind it. That's the purpose of the investigation that we're conducting, is to get to the bottom of exactly what happened, why and how.
Listen, I gotta give credit where credit's due. Donald Trump called it. He just posted this on Truth Social today. When I said that criminals coming in are far worse than the criminals we have in our country, that statement was constantly refuted by Democrats and the fake news media. But it turns out to be true. The crime rate in our country is at a level that nobody has ever seen before. We know his name now. It's 42-year-old Shamsuddin Jabbar. Donald Trump called it. People coming from outside the country are a big, huge threat to... What's that? He was a U.S. citizen? So he's not an immigrant?
Good evening. I'm Shamsuddin Jabbar, property manager with Blue Meadow Properties. So I'm born and raised in Beaumont, Texas, and now live in Houston. And I've been here all my life, with the exception of traveling for the military, where I spent 10 years as a human resources specialist and IT specialist.
So you mean to tell me that Donald Trump is misrepresenting information in order to push his narrative, to further demonize a group of people so he can use them as the scapegoat? What happened in New Orleans last night was an absolute tragedy. My heart goes out to the families and those affected by this act of terrorism. But it sickens me to see our president-elect continue this made-up narrative and disinformation that immigrants bad, immigrants threat to the American people, when we know the person who did it was a U.S. citizen.
And tonight we are seeing the faces of some of the 14 people who were killed and hearing from their families about their loss. Before the college football Sugar Bowl game postponed until today, players and fans observing a moment of silence for the victims.
A shocking discovery by the FBI after more than 150 homemade explosives were found at a Virginia home, marking one of the largest seizures in FBI history. The devices were found in a detached garage and unsecured in a backpack inside the home of 36-year-old Brad Spafford. Spafford was arrested and faces multiple charges related to the explosives. An informant alleged that he stockpiled weapons and used pictures of President Biden for target practice, expressing support for political assassinations. While prosecutors claim he poses a danger, his defense argues there's no evidence of planned violence and questions the functionality of the explosives. The case raises serious concerns about homemade explosives and domestic threats.
You're watching previously unreleased video of the mysterious person who planted pipe bombs outside the offices of the Democratic and Republican National Committees in Washington, D.C. a day before the January 6 riot at the U.S. Capitol. The FBI is releasing the footage and more information in hopes of generating new tips for the pipe bomb investigation.
What we saw was a 7-hour standoff between investigators and South Korea's suspended President Yoon Suk-yeol. In short, it was an attempt to arrest him, and it did not work. What we witnessed are hundreds of supporters of South Korea's now suspended president gathering in front of his residence. Investigators tried to get into the president's residence, but members of the president's security force and armed members of the military prevented investigators from arresting South Korea's now suspended president. This is an effort by investigators and prosecutors to hold South Korea's elected president Yoon Suk-yeol responsible for declaring martial law a month ago on December 3rd into the early morning hours of December 4th. We do see signs all around us that say, "Stop the steal," reminiscent of what we see in the United States, even hats that look like MAGA hats. This is a reflection of conservatism, conservative members of South Korea's electorate believing that an election in April was stolen from them, which a whole host of people disagree with. And now they are saying that South Korea's president may be stolen from them if investigators get their way.
Because didn't Judge Marshawn just say, you know what, we're going to go on and sentence FOW-7-elect on January 10th so we can get this over with? But I'm going to tell y'all right now, he not going to go to jail. So this is the sentencing for the hush money case, the case between FOW-7-elect and Stormy Daniels. And so, but the judge didn't hold back. He was like, I'm going to tell you right now, jail was an option, okay? Don't get it twisted. Incarceration was an option for sure, but these people didn't re-elected him, so it sounds like that's not what the people want, so I'm not finna fight the people on that.
You'll think on the first ballot today, first round?
I think so. This election is not just about one person. It's about moving forward with the America First agenda. The mandate was given by the American people, by the electorate. President Trump got 77 million votes. The House Republicans got almost 75 million. It's a record number. They are expecting us to get to work, and we don't have time for drama. So my simple message to my colleagues is make suggestions about process improvements. We're open to that at all times, but I don't make deals with anyone. There's no quid pro quo here. I don't do anything in exchange for a vote other than commit to make this institution work as effectively and efficiently as possible.
The tellers agree in their tallies that the total number of votes cast is 434. Of which the Honorable Mike Johnson of the state of Louisiana has received 218. Having received a majority of the votes cast, is duly elected Speaker of the House of Representatives for the 119th Congress.
2 months ago, the American people elected Donald Trump as the 47th President of the United States of America. Thank you for that very generous applause. It's okay. There are no election deniers on our side of the aisle. You see?
One Republican county executive is refusing to lower flags to half staff in memory of President Carter. Flags have not been lowered at Nassau County-operated buildings. Democrats are demanding that County Executive Bruce Blakeman follow the federal mandate from President Biden. The Republican county leader has not publicly explained his reasons. Democratic county legislator Seth Kozlow says that honoring a former president should transcend partisan politics and calls the failure an embarrassment for Nassau County.
Listen, if you know anything about me, you know that I know how to throw a punch. And so this Congress will be no different. If anything, I'm going to have to take it to the next level because it was just them controlling the House. And I use the word control very loosely. But now with there being a Trump trifecta, it is going to be so much more important that I speak up and I speak out, not just after the fact, but as things are happening.
So I would tell anybody who's feeling dejected and feeling run down and tired, I get you. I feel tired too. But you know what? I wake up every single morning and I put on my face and I put on my hair and I fight these motherfuckers. Oh, I can't curse. I don't know.
You can.
Okay.
As soon as Republicans decide that they're ready to work, I just want to let them know that Sister Jazz is ready to work with them.